Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to arm you against some of the sneakiest arguments in the book. You know, the ones that don't really bother with your brain, they go straight for your feelings. So let's just kick things off with a big question. Are your feelings being used against you? I mean, think about it. Our emotions are super powerful, right? And that power, well, it makes them a perfect target for anyone trying to persuade us without having to bother with actual facts. So, what do we call these tactics? They're part of a family of logical tricks known as appeal fallacies. And really, that's just a fancy way of saying they are arguments specifically designed to dodge your rational mind and manipulate you through your emotions. Okay, so the core idea here is actually super simple, but man, is it effective. Instead of giving you solid evidence, the argument just tries to make you feel something, maybe scared or excited or even a little bit guilty. And just knowing that's the game they're playing, that's your first line of defense. All right, let's dive into the first one. This is probably one of the most common tricks you'll see literally everywhere. It's all about using the power of the crowd. We're talking about the bandwagon fallacy. And yeah, the name is pretty literal. It's like jumping on the bandwagon in a parade because everyone else is. The whole argument is basically, if lots of people believe it, it must be true. But we all know that's not how it works, right? A huge crowd can be hugely wrong. Oh man, you see this one all the time in ads. This is a classic example. Over 10 million people switched to Bright Smile. The unspoken message is, so should you. But hold on, does that huge number actually prove the toothpaste is any good? Nope. All it really proves is that their marketing department is really good at its job. Okay, next up. This one takes that same idea of authority, but instead of a giant crowd, it focuses all that power on just one person, usually someone famous. This is what's known as the appeal to authority. And here's the catch. It turns into a fallacy, a trick, when the person they're quoting isn't actually an expert on the topic. Their fame is basically used as a substitute for real knowledge. Right, so think about it like this. Your favorite singer, who you love, posts online that pineapple juice cures sore throats. They have 30 million followers. But does that make it true? Of course not. Being an amazing singer has absolutely nothing to do with being a medical expert. The two things are totally separate. Now, this is where it gets really important to see the difference. If a heart surgeon gives you advice about heart surgery, you should probably listen. That's a legitimate expert. But what if that same surgeon starts telling you who's going to win the basketball championship? All of a sudden, their medical degree means nothing. That's when it becomes a bogus appeal to authority. Okay, the next two we're going to look at are basically cousins. They're two sides of the same coin, and they are the absolute masters of swapping out cold, hard facts for big, splashy, overwhelming feelings. So first, you've got the general appeal to emotion. And let's be clear, having emotion in an argument isn't necessarily a bad thing. It only becomes a fallacy when the feelings are there instead of the evidence, when they're a replacement for any real reason to believe something. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. The classic sad puppy commercial, right? Slow, sad music, a poor little dog in the rain. It's built from the ground up to make you feel guilty and sad, to pull on your heartstrings so you'll donate. But it also makes you forget to ask the important questions, like, wait, how much of my money actually goes to the puppies? The emotion is doing all the heavy lifting. And its close cousin is the appeal to fear. And let me tell you, this one is powerful. Why? Because nothing shuts down our logical brains faster than fear. It doesn't prove anything. It just dangles this awful what-if scenario in front of you if you don't go along. I'm sure we've all heard something like this before, right? It's pure pressure. The statement gives you exactly zero good reasons why you should go to the party. All it does is try to scare you with this nightmare of being socially exiled, which, let's be honest, probably isn't going to happen. Okay, so now we can put a name to these things. Where do we actually see them out in the real world? Well, if you want to go fallacy spotting, two of the best places to look are ads and political campaigns. They're like a nature preserve for this stuff. Seriously, just turn on the TV during an election cycle. Join the millions of Americans who support candidate X. That's pure bandwagon. If candidate Y wins, everything will be ruined. Total appeal to fear. And what about those ads with the swelling, dramatic music and emotional images, but like zero actual facts? Textbook appeal to emotion. They even throw in other ones, like attacking the other person's character instead of talking about their policies. So why does all this matter? Look, being able to spot these tricks isn't just some boring classroom exercise. It's a genuine superpower. It's a critical thinking tool you can use every single day. Okay, look at this number. Over 2,300. What on earth could that possibly have to do with these persuasion tricks we see in, internet ads and modern politics? Well, it turns out that over 2,300 years ago, the Greek philosopher Aristotle was the first person to actually write down and categorize these exact same fallacies. So yeah, these tricks aren't new. They're ancient. People have been trying to win arguments by messing with our feelings for literally thousands of years. And that means spotting them is a skill that never goes out of style. So from now on, I want you to think of this as your brand new, shiny fallacy shield. It's a mental checklist you can run through anytime you hear an argument. Just ask yourself, wait a minute, is this a bandwagon play? Is that a real expert or a fake one? Are they just trying to make me feel something? Are they trying to scare me? Really, if you take away just one thing, let it be this. It all comes down to one simple, powerful question you can ask yourself. Are they giving me evidence, or are they just trying to make me feel something? So I'll leave you with this. The next time an ad pops up on your screen or you see a political post, just stop for a second. Ask yourself, was that ad using evidence, or was it just trying to make me feel something? Happy, scared, proud, whatever. The cool thing is, now you'll know exactly how to spot the difference.